President Obama will not be saying who he picked before 11 o'clock when he makes the announcement at the Rose Garden, but the list of names really has reportedly been slimmed down to a select few specific federal appellate judges.
Srinivasan and Merrick Garland of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit are considered to be atop the list. Paul Watford, who serves on the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in California, also considered to be in the running. He was seen in California on Tuesday. So let's see what is ahead. The head of Jacksonville University's Public Policy Institute, Rick Mullaney, back here with us on the morning show. Talked presidential politics a little bit ago, and this may play into this. Are we in for a months-long political stalemate, and is this going to be a searing issue on the campaign trail?
It's going to be a big issue on the campaign trail on both the Republican and the Democratic side. Remember, of course, the court is split 4-4, conservative and liberal. This appointment is a very big one. Of course, you've heard Senator McConnell pledge not to have hearings at all. But I think the president's engaged in a bit of a chess match. I don't think it's coincidental that you're seeing the timing coming out now. It is inserted right into the political campaign. And with Donald Trump on his way potentially to the nomination, and clearly Hillary Clinton is, the two sides are set, and you begin to weigh. Do you want a little bit more centrist choice from the president? Are you willing to risk what an appointment might look like under Hillary Clinton? What would Donald Trump do? All of this is in the conversation.
Hillary Clinton would be more to the left.
I think the president's taking a look at the majority of Republicans in the Senate. He knows that it's an election year, and he's going to try to tempt them, these three finalists, a little more centrist. If it's Hillary Clinton, could very much be more to the left. And by the way, the Democrats have a very good chance of taking back the Senate in November. So if you have a Democrat majority in the Senate and you have a Clinton presidency, this appointment would look very different than Judge Scalia. I promise you that.
Well, and it's very interesting, too, because if you look back at history, back even to the 1900s, how often this has happened, for the seat to go vacant for months is extremely unusual. And you've seen cases where you've had maybe a Republican or a Democratic president nominate when there is a majority, certainly in the Senate, and it's usually confirmed. But it's a different scenario, certainly now.
Well, consistent with the unconventional, unprecedented things we've seen in the presidential race, this is very, very different. There has been a historical practice for many, many years that in the last year of the election that you don't typically see this sort of appointment. And in fact, Vice President Biden himself spoke out against such an appointment back in the early 1990s. And so it is different. It is unique. The president is doing what you'd expect him to do, which is to move forward with his nomination. He will start putting a great deal of pressure on the Republicans, on the Senate, to at least conduct hearings and to vote up or down. I think you're going to see the Republicans begin to debate this as to whether they're even going to conduct hearings. But the Republicans have a big decision to make. Yeah. Are they better off with this? Or are they willing to take the risk in the
political
future?
Chess match, constitutional duty. And the bottom line here, at the foundation of this argument, this will shape the court for many years to come.
There is no doubt that this appointment is going to shape the court for years to come. And by the way, the next president may very well get two more appointments, if not three. So this presidential race is going to be enormously important in determining Supreme Court nominations. And those judges can serve for decades to come. These judges, one's a little older, Judge Garland, about 63, the other's a little bit younger. Typically what you've seen is President Obama has gone with younger appointments. Judge Kagan, 50 years old. Sotomayor, 55 years old. Those have been his two previous picks. The impact of the Supreme Court is enormous. Take a look at the Affordable Care Act and the opinion that you had in health care. Take a look at the same-sex marriage case which you had in Hodges. In critically important decisions, today is one of those chess moves by the president, and then you're going to have to see what the Senate Republicans are how they're going to respond.
And a lot of things on their plate certainly now. Thank you very much for being here. Do appreciate it.
You can watch the president make the announcement live on Channel 4, and News4Jax.com will be streaming it live at 11 o'clock.